Safi. Ha.
Yeah, this
is what it feels like for talent when you're all fixing cameras.
Is there any camera that's on right now that's recording?
Yeah,
we've been recording. We've been partying. Rolling. Okay. We're back. Once again, it's the Dojo podcast with the Sensei and the Archbishop and the Wild Take Him Damn Self Tabang. We're out here in Ficksburg, Cherry Film Fest, and we're having a good time.
Yeah.
Good time, my gents.
I know, good. Like, this is the most nerve-wracking motherfucking shit, but like, yo, if you've been wondering what's been happening in the past 3 minutes, it's just been pandemonium, crazy, trying to set this shit up.
We got 4 cameras out
here. And I can mention blind no.
It's half out here, you know. But we at the Cherry Film Fest in Ficksburg,
yes.
as Mo said. We were invited by the good sir Soso.
Word.
Yeah, yes, to be part of a panel.
Immortal Media and them.
Immortal Media and them. Can I give the AKA Talewiki?
I can label DJ Soso.
Now you mean Talebs.
Oh, Talebs.
This is his hometown?
Yeah.
Yeah, this is hometown.
Yeah. So can I by explaining the Cherry Film Festival again? It's a festival about films.
Yeah.
By and large.
By and large, it's a festival about films and people who make films and, you know, content behind the scenes, the director, what. And they know we are sitting with, you know, someone who's in the industry.
Yeah,
you know what
I'm
saying?
the only guy from my title to ever make it in Joburg, and I told him he must fucking own that shit.
Yeah, because MT doesn't own my title.
He doesn't want to own it.
He's like, yo, next also wait.
Where's Swabela? Nine.
Skin deep
yeah, skin deep and skin deep and he wears it.
Yeah, he's a friend of the pod.
Yeah, and he's a friend of the show.
No, MT Bagliba Mbuta. Are you from my title? Kaslang, Satrap. Nah, man. My folks is from there. I'm from Joburg.
What?
I'm from Soweto.
What?
Hey, man, if it's the truth, it's the truth. I don't like people saying it's on my dad because I'm not from there.
Yeah.
My mom's from there.
Is your mom from Makere?
My mom's from Manfledge.
Oh, wow.
Alright.
Like the entire side of my mom's family.
Yeah. So are you the first guy who's like from Manfledge?
Who's ever made it in Joburg? Do you know anybody from Manfledge who's made it?
Yeah, who's made
in
it.
Joburg?
Hey,
he's the only one, bro.
Yo, relax.
So own that shit.
Yo, relax. So we haven't actually even properly introduced the guest. So the homie is Cross, right?
Yes.
So Cross. And now, as the first official famous person from our TTL, just let the people know who you are actually. You know what I'm saying?
Makere Thekiso. I used to be a rapper, so my stage name was Southern Cross.
Oh shit, you used to spit bars?
Yeah, I used to spit bars.
Yes.
Yeah, I'll rap for you guys later. I'm joking.
Okay, and then?
So I'm a filmmaker. I run a production.
It's wild out here.
That's
the name of Ranaka.
Yeah. No, you can come in and say what's up and apologize.
Yeah,
I am so sorry.
So,
Feel so
you must come plug your shit later.
Yeah. You were saying?
So I'm a filmmaker. I direct. I own a production company called Callback Dreams.
Sweet.
We've been operating for the last 10 years or so. I've done like shows like The Hustle on Vuzu, Strip Down, Creative Union, shot close to like I think 40 music videos, some commercials, worked in countries like Ghana, Nigeria, Tanzania, Malawi, Zambia, Zimbabwe, Namibia, Swaziland, Botswana.
Man. You've been everywhere.
Yeah, you've been out here. Your passport must be out here stamped.
I'm actually on my 3rd one.
Oh my God.
Shit.
Right. But so why the transition to filmmaking and things around film? As you said, you used to spit bars. So when did you let go of that dream and be like, I'm be behind the scenes.
Yeah, I think, you know, like there was a time where I used to bump it a lot into Slicker. So Slicker used to make fun of me because I used to do radio, voice of Vex.
Ah, nice.
You know, he was like, he came in, he was like, so how about Lala Music House? So he decided like, I'm gonna be a radio.
To play your own music.
Yeah, to play your own music. So my first job I did was the first hip hop show ever, SHIZ. That was I started out there as a production assistant, production coordinator, production manager, then I was a producer, then ended up directing ENGs and also like technical directing. So I did close to 100 episodes.
That was on ETV, ne?
Yeah, that was on ETV. I came after, there was Musa, then there was Fungai. So I came after Fungai. So, so there was a lot of like big shoes to fill when I came in, and hip hop was still in its infancy.
Yeah.
And the reason I even got the job was because I was so well versed in hip hop. So it was not because I knew TV, it was because I knew
hip hop.
I knew hip hop. So then I learned filmmaking
during that process.
So I learned on the job.
That's dope. That's dope. So then after SHIZ,
then I worked on Idols for a year.
Yeah?
I did season 6, which was Elvis Blue and Loy Tele. That was that season.
Yes.
Then afterwards, I met my business partner, Joby. Then we decided like, let's start a company.
Yeah, your own thing.
Yeah, and so when we first started, we did the channel strategy for Channel O Africa, and it was because we're helping set up. So Joby was meant to be the channel head but it was like, no, we're gonna do business, and that's how actually the traveling started. It was like we're helping them like set up like some of the earlier work. Understanding the culture, the content,
the Pan-African landscape.
Yeah, because there was Channel O South Africa, then there was Channel O Africa. Which is not too great because then Channel O Africa sort of played different music to Channel O South Africa, which in my personal opinion, I thought if we had one, it was going to be great.
A lot bigger.
And also like have one voice.
Yes.
I know a lot of music channels now, there's like Trace West, Trace East. I think as a continent, I think it's important to
just have one unifying platform.
That brings us all together.
And just merge everything.
And present a unified front.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Anything else?
Actually, how did you get to? Because I would like to get into the Matatila side of shit.
Okay.
Like, how did you get to Joburg?
How did I get to Joburg? Let me think. What happened is that I was born in Parani, and my mom was part of like MK. And so she was very close with Chris Hani, so she used to travel and bring guns from like Lesotho into the country. So even apparently when we were kids, we used to have like the ANC pamphlets in our nappies, so that at least when they get stopped at the border or somewhere, they don't check our nappies
they don't check
and all of that stuff. So my mom used to travel quite a lot, married my dad. She studied Kontukom Tata, and my dad was in Queenstown.
Both your parents are from Matatiele?
Yeah, both my mom is from Maluti. My dad is from Mparani, Matatiele. Yeah. So then my mom passed away from cancer when I was 5. So then from there on, then my dad was in Queenstown. Then he decided to like, I'm gonna move the whole family to Cape Town.
Okay.
Because then you can do tertiary, then go on,
set you up,
bruh. And I remember when I got to Cape Town, I was learning English, Xhosa, and Afrikaans at the same time.
Yeah.
And those were new languages, and those were like new languages I was learning. So then my dad died. We stayed in Cape Town for a year. My dad passed away from a car accident in Cape Town.
Oh, man.
So then
How old were you then?
I was 10. So my mom when I was 5, my dad when I was 10. So then I had to move back to
Paran.
Go back to Matatiele. Then so we're rejected by a lot of schools because my family was politically aligned. So most of the multiracial schools didn't want us to go to those schools and everything. So then after I studied there for 1 year, then the whole family decided like, it's a good idea to push out grade 8 in Joburg. So that then I can transition easily into Wits University and everything. So that's how I got here.
Do you have siblings?
Yes, I've got a brother and also a sister.
Older?
He's older. He's 2 years older than me.
Okay.
Yeah.
And a younger sister?
Sister, same age as my brother. Don't ask.
Nah, I've got those.
Yeah.
So the upheaval was happening to all of you. The upheaval, like moving from one place to another.
Yeah. Funny enough, like I spent a lot of time. Like I've lived in the township, I've lived in the inner city, I've lived in the middle
village.
class burbs. I've lived in the burbs. I've lived in the high end. Like so, I've sort of like lived in so many different places. I also stayed in Kwakwa for some time.
Party
That's my birthplace.
Yeah, nice. Legula Kontuko elite.
That's where I grew up.
Yeah, nice. So
Which year?
I stayed there 2004 to finish my matric.
I was long gone.
Yeah, 2004 to finish my matric. Then when I went that side, so that's how I got to Joburg in essence. And yeah, so then I've been in Joburg literally, I think for the last couple of years now.
Yeah. So what did you tell your parents you're gonna do in Jozi when you went?
I mean, like I think in terms of the family, when I was here in Joburg, like it was very different because I studied law. Yeah. And
Also, you told them, hey, you're a lawyer.
no, I stayed with family, so I moved here with family.
Yes.
Relatives, yeah.
Yeah, like with my younger cousin, sister,
okay.
and my brother. So we literally moved with the whole family.
Aye.
So it was sort of like a consensus. It's tumelano. Yeah, tumelano. As a family, you know. Wabona skhwasa house baby tiri.
So how long did you study law for?
I did law for 4 years.
Yeah.
Yeah. So my majors were international relations and law.
And you finished it.
That's where I met Soso.
Yes.
Yeah, he was doing law.
Yes.
You finished it, right?
I did my BA law. I finished it.
Okay.
Then I was gonna finish the 2 years.
Yeah, LLB.
LLB.
I didn't.
Yeah, you were like, nah.
Yeah, that time I was on SHIZ. So I was tasting a bit of money.
And fame and claim.
The whole time I'm trying to place him, you know, and I'm trying to like, okay, no, but I was long gone.
Yeah.
So it's Vince.
But maybe it must have been Vince.
Yeah.
Probably.
You had Vince at the
because
same
I
time.
was at Vince at the same time that Soso was at Vince.
Yeah, me too. Like that's where I met Soso and Neo. They're the co-founders of the Chile Film Festival while we're here, and we've been friends ever since. You know, and it's actually
world,
quite
man.
dope. Like it's sort of like even this project is almost feel like you're working with your friends.
Yeah.
It doesn't feel like work. And I was even telling them, I was like, sometimes the biggest thing, I know this festival is gonna be big. You know, it's only second year. My biggest fear that sometimes growth is not a good thing. Sometimes because a lot of things can get diluted.
Word.
When money gets involved.
Were you invited last year as well?
Yeah,
Did you
I was
have
here
some
last year.
stuff too?
Last year, I actually helped organize some of the aspect of the festival.
Oh, dope.
So we're doing a lot of like getting the films in, curating some of the stuff for them, and having some production meetings and
nice,
things like
nice,
that.
nice. Yeah. No, jump in.
Makere Cross.
Yeah, Kim Sut.
No, Kere Lebitso.
No, Kinto ki Kilbitso Lantole. It's got origins Afrikaans. So I'm named after somebody. So apparently that when I spanel and Tolburu.
Okay.
So Banbakata Vat Makere. Yeah, then Makere. Yeah. Then there's Makere University, Uganda.
Then just sort of meet Pan-African. Because I know Cross via Lemonka.
Yeah.
Because almost all my connections are hip-hop based.
Yeah.
So Lemonka was my boy.
Yeah.
That's when Spaceman was running shit.
Yeah.
You were friends with Space, ne?
Yeah, he's my friend. Like we literally went to the same high school.
Yeah.
Like literally like a brother.
Yeah. And he stayed like he was my neighbor, Kada, not riding Kada.
Yeah.
And then he was working on his mixtape, and that's how I met you.
Yeah, we used to record at his house, go Parkmore.
Yeah.
And so at the studio, we used to be like Pro Kid used to come through, Proverb used to come through.
Dope.
Like it was a lot of guys now. Cyber now is acting.
Yeah.
We did a lot of slaches during that time. Went on the road with Think Pitch Black in his prime. I think we probably did the first hip hop tour in the country.
Oh yeah?
Yeah, potentially. I stand to be corrected. Because I remember it was sponsored by Musica and Shell Garage.
Yes.
And we went to Grahamstown, we went to PE, We went to, I almost went to Cape Town. We went to like a few, East London. We also went to East London. But it was the first time I think even as hip hop, like where we're like, cool, we're gonna go and hit the road.
Yeah.
At that time we were unknown. Like we used to be in Tata beatboxing, and people were like fascinated. It's like, what the hell is this?
Because I'm thinking, man, like you studied law, coming from a politically driven family.
Yeah.
You end up as a person that loves hip hop as a rapper. That gets you a gig on TV.
It's
you become a producer that leads you to being a filmmaker. Was this a grand plan?
There was, funny enough, it wasn't a grand plan. I think I've been also very fortunate because I think I've sort of like even like doing the hustle. It helped because then I don't think it would have been directed. I think it would have looked different if the director was not a hip hop head. So I even doing the concepts, I understood like, oh, these battles, this is how it works. You know, because hip hop audience is a very sensitive audience. You know, and if you get something factually wrong, like, so I think it helped having that background to do the hustle. And also what it also helped was that we did a lot of mentoring for artists on the show. That's why and most of them end up becoming successful because Joby and I used to run a management company. We used to manage Proverb for like 6 years. And Nandim Goma, Melissa Ellison, and all these guys. So even having done that, by the time we did the hustle, like for instance, we had stopped the management company. But it was easy to guide the guys and it's like, yo, because they used to because for instance we shoot all the 10 episodes, we used to shoot all the 9 episodes in 10 days. So we knew who was in the top 2 before it aired. So we used to watch the stuff at the office with all the Shane Eagles, Big Star, all those guys, and they used to bring their songs, their music videos, and so by the time the show ended, it was easy for them to hit the ground running. Because you're like, yo, that's the right video, go and speak to this person, go and speak to that person. Because our biggest fear, after we finished recording, we knew that we've got a hit show. We knew it. The minute we're done, and we're like, shit, it's working. But then what we feared was like somebody from the show not making it. I felt like the show was gonna lose credibility. Because then it becomes like, oh, one of those.
This is the hustle.
But what helped with the rappers was the fact that rappers, by the time they come onto the show, they know the streets.
But in the because obviously we're here at the film fest, and there were a lot of students, obviously, prospective, people who would want to enter the industry, and looking at the unconventional way you entered, it's not conventional. It's not like you studied film or whatever, you know. And, you just so happen to so how would you describe to someone like me, Asatse, being anything about film or whatever, what you actually do?
It's so hard to explain. I think like as a director, you literally you come up with the idea.
Yes.
Then
and you pitch it.
You pitch it, or you execute it yourself, or if there's a funder or anything of that sort, then you kind of go into it. And so the idea, like literally, I think it starts with the director. Then you assemble a team, like your executive, funding.
Sure.
Then you start finding the right people to execute the idea. So whether it's makeup, whether it's styling, location, casting, and then you go into post-production. You're still part of the process because then you have to be involved in the editing, the final mixing, and all those sorts of things. And then from there on, the project doesn't really end for you because then there's the marketing aspect that needs to happen. Then because even for instance, like with the short film, like the one that we're screening here, like I shot one in Ghana and I shot like a year ago, and everybody has left the project.
You still?
Yeah, I'm here.
Can I see through?
And then it's probably going to be a 2-year run, but everybody has kind of
moved on to other projects.
Moved on to other projects, and it's sort of like it becomes your baby, you know. And that's why sometimes I think even with directors, what normally happens, why we always come across as crazy, is because like all the small details are so important.
Yes.
Because they make sense. Like why you wanna mix it this way, why I want dread here. To some people it doesn't make sense, but once the picture it's drawn together and they're like, oh, is that what you mean? So sometimes it's great to work with people who trust.
So with regards to you say you're showing 2 short films?
Yes, 2 short films.
So did you find some script? Were you inspired? Because I usually thought, especially the filmmaking process, there's script writers, they send in scripts to directors or whoever can make the film, or either like a film house or whatever, and maybe the film house would buy the script and then source a director, put them together. Okay, I have the script, you're a director, make this film for me, and I'm gonna sell it and broadcast it. Like how different is this idea? I don't know if this idea is the Hollywood model. I don't know. Yeah, how you guys are working here in SA.
Yeah, mine is, it's very left. Like my approach, it's literally
left field.
It's left field because for instance, I don't watch reality shows, you know, and what my passion is like, it's narrative film and short films. So, but I've done like music specials, and so then as a director, I was boxed, you know, like as in when there's a brief, you direct reality shows, you direct multicam music specials, you direct music videos, all the stuff you can't do. So every time I was pitching, it was rejection. It was like, no, but
this is not your forte.
It's not your forte. It's not what you do. But then you're like, yo, but I've kind of like had done great, got a track record with reality shows, and I don't like reality shows. So imagine if I did something
that you loved.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? And so then what ended up doing is that I was shooting a lot of music videos. I got tired because it's very difficult, because I always felt like most artists don't respect the process of music videos. It's like, that's why I think the quality is not that great, is because nobody really wants to invest the time, the money, and what needs to be. So in terms of film, what ended up happening was like a lot of rejection. So where you're like, yo, you can't do this, you know.
So what sort of things were you pitching that were getting rejected?
It was like, even sometimes the way writers have a script, but you like, everybody's telling you what you cannot do. It's like probably even you guys now being online, that's the beauty of it, is that because after all that rejection, online allows you to like, oh, fuck it, I can do whatever the hell I want.
Yes.
You can't tell me what I can and cannot do. You know what I'm saying? So what would end up happening was that with my first short film was with this artist called Manifest. So I was in Ghana. I was like, yo, let's just go and shoot. And we went and shot this thing. Ended up traveling like to LA, to like BBC, different festivals up and down the continent, like screening in Ghana. And then from there on, but that was like sort of like pro bono. Then there's another project. I was with my homie Moteo. He just shot the Netflix show, the one with Pt1.
Oh, yes.
Cinematographer. So then we're like sitting on set, we're shooting this thing for Manifest. He's in the country. He flew in for the music video. So as we're shooting, we're like, yo, this is a dope narrative. Let's cut a short film version of this music video. So we changed the music and we sort of like pieced it together into a 3 to 2 minute short film. And that's what we did. Then also ended up traveling. You know what I'm saying? So then the short film that I did now with Berita, she came to me, she was like, yo, I was like, I don't want to shoot a music video, you know, like I'm sort of like over it, but I'm like, but then because she's such a dope person, I was like, yo, let's do it. But I was like, I'll give you a music video, can I also get a short film out of it? So that's how I know Nino. So I was able to leverage resources that music video and shoot my short film. Same one with Hudson Time. I was in Ghana for like 7 days. So I shot 2 music videos for this artist, but in my head I was shooting my short film. So it's like, cool, here's your music video, here's my short films. So that has been my approach as an indie. You know, like as in like, yo, I'm gonna shoot my stuff, whether you guys say I can or cannot do it. Yeah. Like I'm not gonna wait for funding or somebody to like validate me and be like, now you are good enough. Like the train has to move.
I know, and I hear you. So what are the 2 films that you're showcasing at the festival about? Like
one is called Unknown Union. It's about love, conflict, commitment, and funny enough, the other one, Hudson Time, I literally, both of them are, Hudson Time is a bit more abstract. It's literally, I shot my thoughts.
Oh yeah?
Yeah, so it's very chaotic. So it's like there's no...
You look chaotic.
Yeah? So it's not meant to make any sense, but you're meant to feel something. Yeah. So even at the beginning, it's like, don't think, just feel. So the point is like, I can't sit there and be like, so the only thing that's very consistent there is love. It's love and conflict, but then it's a lot of... It's like,
doesn't have to make sense.
It doesn't have to make any sense. Yeah.
So this one... it didn't necessarily have a script or anything like that. There isn't necessarily is there a narrative that you're telling? Or?
Yes. With Hudson Time, the narrative, I think, in between all of the chaos, is also conflict and love. You know, and And funny enough, when I was at some other festival, I realized like short films have become like my therapy. You know, especially, you know, like having dealt with heartbreaks and those kinds of things. And so it's almost like short films, like you're saying, it's like, oh, if I'm just gonna do this, I'm gonna do whatever the hell I want. Yeah, it's like it's a clean painting. I don't report to a sponsor, a channel, or corporate. So it's almost like just get into a room and literally just paint. But I think with my when I do my feature, it's gonna be a bit more controlled. In a sense that, like, in my head, what I've been going a lot to my DL. It's like in my head, I wanna write something that speaks to somebody or and Paran. You know, like, and because I think film sometimes, especially most South Africa, it's a bit highbrow. You know, it's a bit
snobbish.
Yeah, very snobbish. You know, like, so I think with my feature, I want to take it back home. You know, like, and tell like and so with my short film is literally I do whatever the hell I want. With feature is gonna be a bit more controlled.
Okay.
Yeah.
And revenue streams, how do you make money?
We do a lot of corporate videos. As a company. So there's the last couple of years we did a lot of TV shows, and so that was like our main source of income. Funny enough, as much as shot for 40 music videos, like I've probably made money in 2 or 3 of them.
Oh shit!
Really?
Yeah, it's like there's not really much money. For us, it's a marketing tool and also a way to express yourself.
And to say I did 40 videos.
Yeah, but but in the space of like 9 years, which is not guys who do that in a year.
Can you give us some of the music videos that you did?
The biggest one that I've done is Kona by Mafikizolo.
You did Kona?
Yeah.
Oh yeah?
You got a scoop?
Yeah.
That was dope. That was dope.
So that's I mean, like, it's sitting at around 15 million views, and at that time it was like, it was unheard of to even hit 1 million.
Yeah, it was my potential
As a director.
Yeah, and for me, in my opinion, I think it's probably the most important and probably top 5 biggest videos to come out in the last decade.
That video was
in terms of impact, because
even the change of sound for them.
I saw the transition, because I knew all the filmmakers on up and down the continent. There were like 3 or 4. So the aesthetics back then was a lot of like girls, opulence, all of that stuff. And the Kona music video shifted it to when people started embracing culture.
There was color. There was...
And I mean, like, they did a lot of studies even on it, like where there were like articles of government where they'll say like, yo, it's made Africans look cool, you know, and go back to the roots. And that was not the intention, you know, going into it. But it helped so much as a director, because I realized through that process the importance of me being a director and coming from that idea. You know, then I started going back more, being interested more in where I come from, the culture, because I knew that, you know, like that's where the magic lies. So it was Kona. Also did what else? Proverb. Produced Writers Club. Also, let me think. Also did Tabzi's Lula one right now. Nkeli Kiss by Berita.
Oh yeah.
Produced and directed produced I think the last 7 Top 2 Idols music videos.
Oh yeah.
Nice. Directed.
You mean the winners?
Yeah, the top 2, because we shoot for top 2.
Okay, for top 2.
Yeah, so call back. We produce both music videos for all, from Kaim Tetwa to all those guys. And I'm trying to think which else. We did most of Proverb's videos. Literally, I think his biggest was the one with the soil. We shot that on a cell phone. Some scenes in there. It was iPhone 5, I think, at the time. You know, and what else? Like, yo, it's
a number. It's 40B.
Davido, I've done Davido. Tiwa Savage, Sarkodie.
Yo, these are big name artists.
They've been working.
But the TL up in the building.
I'll just shine.
The biggest material ever making it up with the TL.
Because this nigga's talking about big name African artists. This is like
Davido. You know, funny enough, how we got access to those guys, because I knew, like, I've sort of like been involved with the growth Afrobeats, like I had said earlier, when we were setting up, like help set up like Channel of Africa. So what also we used to do, we used to manage artists coming into the country for Channel Awards. So we used to handle all the West African artists.
So that's where you built the connect.
That's where all the connections happen. So every time when they came into the country, it's like you sort of like took care of them,
their program,
and their programs, and so then some of them end up being your friends. And so I've known some of these guys. I mean, Olamide is one of the biggest artists in in Nigeria right
Yeah.
now. I went to the first video shoot. We were sent by Channel O to cover his BTS. I remember his song is playing. I'm like, yo, this is bad. And you know, fast forward, look, like, he's one of the biggest, you know. And I mean, like when Wizkid was still coming up, Flavor. Not Baby
huge,
Flavor was huge.
Not Baby was actually shot in Newtown.
You did that shit?
No, my friend did it. I was on set when it was being shot. It was directed by Shaft. And
It's got 2 videos.
pardon?
No Baby's got 2 videos there.
Yes, it's got 2 videos.
Yeah, it's got a South African video.
Yes.
And one from Nigeria, I think.
Yes, and different versions. So that was shot in Maboneng before Maboneng became Maboneng.
Maboneng, yeah.
Yeah, because even our first project we did as Callback, we shot it on top of Maboneng building. It was for Vuzu. It was our first project around 10 years ago. So we went to Jonathan, the guy who owns Maboneng, asked him, it was before they were charging like 3,000 an hour to shoot there.
Jesus.
Then we went on the rooftop, then we shot there, and it was before,
Yeah, got me through the process, man. Like, do you go to artists and pitch to them, or do they come to you? And when they come to you, what exactly are they looking for?
I think the only
especially like the difference between, you know, how you tackle music video direction and obviously your filmmaking and the stuff you do with idols, TV and whatnot.
Most of the time with music video, it's I think I've only pitched once, and the pitch didn't even get to the person. I was trying to shoot a Solange music video, and because I heard that she liked some of our work, which was happiness.
So will, let's say, Solange send out a brief or something like that?
Yeah.
Or...
No, what normally happens is that like artists will approach you. Will be like, oh, I like what you did with Proverb. Like, yo, can we work? Yeah, can we work? You know, and like I was saying, because it's also not very financially feasible kind of a model, like shooting music videos. So you don't necessarily have to pitch, because I'd rather go and pitch for somebody who it makes bottom line sense. You know, but what you ended up doing is like, we never really pitched. It's like they sort of like
they come to you.
Yeah, because I think after some time where they realize like, oh, this one did this, I like this, and artists also talk.
Oh, my man shot my video. Maybe you should try him out. And so when an artist then comes to you, okay, Jorge, I would like you to come and shoot my video. Then do you work on the concepts?
Yes.
He gives you the song, and you gotta just figure out what you're trying to do. Is it a collab process with the artist, or?
It differs with each artist. So some artists will come out with an outline and say, yo, this is what I'm thinking, this is what I want to do. Then some artists will just give you the song and just say, yo, do whatever I trust you. Then other artists will be like, yo, they'll be a bit more hands-on. But I normally prefer artists, like if you're going to be hands-on, rather do it from the onset. So go through the whole process, but don't be only hands-on when you're on set.
Yeah.
Because then it throws you off.
Sure.
When as a director, because the most important part of filmmaking is pre-production. So
because by that time you've already done the conceptualization.
So now everybody's telling you, don't do this, don't do that. That always irritates me. I always prefer rather go through the hard labor with me.
Yeah, at the beginning.
At the beginning. Then I'll have more respect for you than just coming on set and be like, this.
I didn't like this. Or,
then
I want
it's
to
like,
check. Okay.
Yeah, so.
And in terms of the quality of our local music videos, I find that sometimes, especially when I compare it to what the Americans are doing, the crispness in the picture is different. What's the cause of that? Is it how we're shooting, the equipment that we're using, expertise?
I think for me it's like we have some of the most skilled filmmakers in the world. Like just straight up, And the only challenge, I think, is always resources. I don't think record labels and artists invest enough money into their projects, because, for instance, like an artist in South Africa, guys have been shooting music videos for like 40,000 rands for the last 10 years, but when you're shooting for a Davido, you can shoot between $30,000 US.
That's a lot of money.
Yeah, to $100,000 US. So that's a huge difference. So that means access to camera, access to light, access to talent, access to grade, all those things that you need as a filmmaker. So then the quality will automatically.
So it's a money game.
It's a money game. I think for me, the South African artists have kind of gotten away with, cutting corners. And now I think that's why, because what's made Afro beats so big is because of their visuals.
So do you not think maybe it's exclusionary? Because just looking at the current landscape of our music industry and how much money is actually rotating or changing hands, I mean, $30,000 might be a lot for an artist that's perceived to be doing well.
Yeah. I also think it's like, I mean, certain artists make like 120,000
A show.
Yeah.
You know, 40,000 a show, and they doing like 8 gigs a week. I'm like, investing 150,000
Invest
rands
back
into
into
your
your craft.
project.
Yeah,
It's like,
on a good music video. Come on, you can
come
do
on,
that.
bruh.
I think maybe it's the small guys then that'll be left out.
Yeah,
in the cold.
and funny enough, the small guys are the ones who I find the indie guys with the better product because they a bit more artistic with their approach. Because I think sometimes, like, as much as if you don't have money, you can still have artistic
and be creative.
you know, like, so then it becomes a problem where there's no level of being artistic in the project and there's no money in it. Because the artistic element of it can cover a lot of shortfallings, you know. And so that's because I enjoy a lot of indie filmmakers and indie music videos, but you realize, like, you can see the guy doesn't have money, but it's so creative.
And looking, you know, because when you're thinking about notable, you know, directors who used to do videos, especially in hip hop, like Hype Williams, for instance. He had you saw a Hype Williams video and you knew even before seeing the beginning. Nah, this is Hype. This has like, do you have a sort of signature? That people come to you for?
And the funny enough, I always have conflict with certain artists where they come to you because they like your work, but they want you to change.
Yeah, they want to change you.
Yeah, but you're like, that's not me. Why? Then you should. That's what you want to do. Go to that guy. I know the perfect guy for you. And so for me, even I think as an artist, there was a time where I used to think it's not a good thing to have a signature because you want to be diverse. It's gonna box you. But now I'm actually embracing it because I almost feels like, you know, when you go to Picasso, you go for him for certain art. When you go to Esther Mahlangu, you go for certain...
Frida Kahlo. It's a certain type of way she used to paint, you know, if that's what you go
Michelle
for.
Bosquet.
Yes.
And so for me as a director, like I was saying, I'm heavily influenced by Matatiele and Home, you know, and so that's where most of my...
Inspiration comes
from, you know, and also even a friend of mine the other time was like, oh, I saw this video and I was like, oh, it looks like... And even now, when somebody... sort of like it's referencing me or something, I can see it. Because I'm like, that's not you.
That's not you. You got that from me.
Yeah, and it's because I'm being myself. And when somebody's trying to be you, you can spot it. You like, because there's a history behind you. Like, I'm from this place, I traveled here, I've done here. I know the history of that shot, so you sort of, and it's taken me years to find my
to find that look. That look.
It takes
that speaks
years.
to you, right?
I think it's also a journey of self-discovery.
Because Tabang was showing me your Instagram.
Your photography.
You also
it's crazy.
Oh man, like, and you can tell, your photos are just different. You know what I'm saying? Like. And Kibone is sort of like a theme in his obviously your hometown features a lot. The hue of the hue of the pictures that you take. It speaks to that.
Because the reason I even, especially when I go home, I try to reference my pictures because it's so difficult to find African references. Like when you're visually telling stories, it's hard. Like you almost like, it's township, Izo. Or it's like it's almost, so you almost have to document it yourself to design your own look. But the beauty of it is that I always feel like I have an opportunity to create a visual language. Even with my feature, I have a feeling I'm gonna be able to design my own visual language because it's sort of like you're saying, like it's so out there, the stories that happen there, you know, and so for me, even from a filmmaking perspective, I also think it's like it's so important for us to design because Nollywood, they've got their own visual. Hollywood, they've got their own Bollywood, they've got their own South America, Europe. Even East Africa.
They have their own hub of films that they do. Otseban comes from that region.
I think here in South Africa, it's probably one of the few places where
we don't have that.
We don't really
have
it. But I think it's there. TV has it. You know, when you look, Mzinwezintsizwa, Scooty Snice, Izo, but somehow in film, it's not.
It's not translating. Yeah.
It's almost like sometimes you can watch something and be like, oh, that looks like a Woody Allen. That looks like Quentin Tarantino. That looks like so and so. So I think for me, it's like it's a personal journey, you know, of like trying to design my own visual language and say, this is me. This is.
Yeah.
You know, and it makes it easy, I think, for me, like when you travel, especially when you're taking your projects like on a global scale, because they're interested, like, yo, how are black rural South Africans living? You know, and so for me, it's like sometimes you don't even see that. Like sometimes, like, yo, I listen to music and I'm like, guys, you've got so many sounds. Like Ndebele, like Zulu, like even Moma Sutung, there's Diachela, then there's like all different subgenres, but nobody's touching any of these things. And sort of like you're waiting for Wakanda to come in and to be like, Wakanda and Sutu Blanket is cool now. It's like, yo, guys, shit is dope, bro. Like,
shit is true.
And the thing is, like, before I used to think the problem was the audience, you know, as to why maybe we don't see a lot of authentic South African stories being told, right?
I don't think
but
so.
I think the audience is hungry for it. It's just that the concept is not there. Because I was looking at how Matwetwe, when Matwetwe came out and you know the first few trailers came out and how people were going viral. People saw that and were like, yeah, that's Pretoria. And people were excited.
Do you know what the craziest trip I took was? I think it was my first trip to Nigeria.
Yeah.
So when I land, like Nigeria it's a world. It's Lagos is a
on its own. Like it's something crazy. Yeah,
like it mind fucked me. Like just when I was there. But the most interesting thing I learned when I landed, everybody's wearing their clothes, as in their local clothes.
Traditional clothes,
Yeah, you know, and it's not Africa Day, it's not Heritage Day. Like
this is just what they do.
This is
everyday wear.
If this is what they wear every single day, like you go to at the airport restaurant, they're playing their own music. You know, you go to a restaurant, they're eating their own
food,
their own local food. Like in Joburg, where do you find Papa Lumro?
Select spots, bro.
Select spots.
Select curated. Or strate.
You know,
and look down upon it.
You know, and so for me, it's like when I saw that, and I remember this was another trip. My first trip was to Nairobi. So this guy, his name is Godfather. He brought the Nigerian films here in South Africa. He did all the music videos, the Nigerians, they were shot by him. He was our business partner. So it was me, him, and Joby. So he's a crazy motherfucker. Like, crazy. Like,
wow, okay.
Yeah? Like, he's wild. He's wild. Yeah. He's wild. Homie took me to a brothel. I didn't even know I was at a brothel, bro. that's
swag. We co-signed that.
And I'm in Nairobi. It's the first time I'm out. Homie takes me to a brothel.
My nigga.
Dog.
That's like, how you entertain. When I come to your city, take me to the first TV joint.
Yeah, but I'll tell you that story because it's a story and a half. But so we're there, they're playing, at that time it was P Square, you know, Easy.
I know P Square.
Easy,
Those twins, twin Nigerians.
Yeah. And so he had produced that video. Nice. And Proverb, funny enough, actually did a cameo on it. Nice. And we're trying to plug him into the rest of the continent. So get to this place, playing music, you know. Bazala, you know, like local music. At that time, I didn't know a lot of like rest of the continent music, you know, especially East Africa. You know, they're playing their music. Then they play, you know, Easy. You know, like, now I'm wilding out. You know, Easy, in the middle of a brothel, bro. Like,
and you don't know the brothel.
No,
he doesn't know.
So far, I don't know it. I don't know it. We dance, but the ratio between guys and girls is...
A little suspect. A little suspect.
So, dancing, you know, like, the dance floor is packed, you know. Then, after, you know, Easy, guess who they play? And he just passed on. No, Michael Jackson.
Oh, yeah?
Guess what happened? The dance floor cleared.
Wow.
People left the dance floor. They were playing Michael Jackson.
Yo, and Michael Jackson translates their own
they left the dance floor.
They left the
My
dance
nigga,
floor.
on MJ?
And MJ.
And MJ is international. It's MJ.
I couldn't believe it.
Wow, that's crazy.
And so for me, I remember like I went on this journey like just to discover like African music and what's happening, you know, like your Fela, your Sondo, like all that stuff, because I just realized I was like, yo, these guys love their culture, they love themselves, they really You know,
it's amazing, man.
Yeah, and fair enough, I have more access to Papale Morocco in Nairobi than I do in South Africa.
Imagine.
That's crazy.
Yeah, that's fucking nuts. So what do you feel needs to change? Because I wanna like when we're looking at film especially, because with TV, and we'll discuss it later, TV, we seen the transition, obviously, more Mzansi Magic and whatnot, with them bringing on, you know, more African content that people are actually fucking with.
Yeah.
But with film, I don't feel like you guys are doing enough. And what do you feel needs to happen around the industry, in the industry, for us to get more local films?
I think it's already happening. You know, I see the industry growing the next 5 years, almost because I was involved. I mean, like, was part of, like, you know, growth hip hop. So I saw, we all saw it blow up. You know, same thing with Afrobeat. Like, I saw it as becomes like international. You know, and so even with film, I'm seeing the same patterns happening right now, you know, like with films like Matwetwe and all these different places. Now there's like almost 2 South African films at the cinema almost every month, you know, and I think the stuff that we're still working on is marketing, which I think we're going to solve very soon. Because then we've got social media. It doesn't have to be too expensive.
It doesn't have to be traditional media.
Yeah, you know, and so I think that in the next 5 years, 10 years, guys, we can make a living as like full-time filmmaker. That's what I'm seeing, you know, and because there's even a guy, his name is Bliss Ambassador. He's a filmmaker from Ghana. And Wanuri, she's a filmmaker from Kenya. She's literally, Wanuri's literally just signed to do some Viola Davis movie in Hollywood. Blitz is getting distributed by Array, is on Netflix and all these different things. And you also see what Matwete did, Catching Feelings. I mean, when Bilal was in the country, was telling my friend that, I watched Catching Feelings, you know, because it was on a global platform. So I think with technology and being able to create content way easier than in the past, I see nothing but growth. And also with the world becoming small, I'm seeing the same patterns, like I was saying, that hip-hop went through, that Afrobeat went through. Because guys are pushing, you know.
Yeah, man, because we tired of watching political motherfucking films. How many Mandela movies can you make? You know. But
I still feel like the political films or the political narrative hasn't been explored wide enough.
It's always
we keep focusing on the same stories.
It's safe.
But there are so many stories.
There's no Mizani movie.
My friend is funny enough, he's working on
a Biko movie
on a script. It's by this guy. I found the story when he was doing this documentary. This guy used to write letters for all the politicians. He's like a poet. So he used to write for Bo Zuma, all of those guys, to their wives.
Wow, though.
So he used to write like literally
love letters
to
their spouses.
To their spouses. Wow,
and his life story is very similar to Frida Kahlo and the husband. I forgot.
Yes.
You know, like how crazy.
Yeah, they had a tumultuous relationship.
Where they end up building a house next to each other.
They had 2 separate houses.
So that love story is very similar
to Frida and
Frida Kahlo.
What's that? David, or I forgot his name.
I forgot his name too. It's crazy. And so he's writing a script that's very similar to it, where it deals with love, but within that Island,
within that context.
Within that context, you know. And I think for me personally, I would love to shoot my mom's documentary. You know, I think I'll get to know her a bit better because she passed away when I was 5.
Sure.
So there's that aspect I don't know of her, but I think going on, even if I don't release it or anything, even if it's just for me, but I've archived it. You know,
for kids, for whatever.
For whatever reason it is, and I do, and I think the last couple of years, like you're saying, I think we've sort of like played it safe, you know, but I think now with technology and indie making, guys are just gonna be telling stories like Matwetwe. Like, it was incredible. They shot that film in 9 days. I went to their set. They, like, the budget that they had was $500,000, dog. $500,000.
Yeah, man.
And for me, that's incredible. It's like, people sometimes are like, oh, what do you think of it? I'm like, yo, homie shot a film for $500,000.
And they pulled
people.
It pulled people. That thing went viral.
Yeah.
And I think they made all that money back and then some.
You know, and also for me, as a filmmaker, what it taught me was that, I don't have to have Hollywood money to shoot my story. You know, I have to find a perfect narrative. So for me, even with you guys, like, doing this, it's like, for me, I feel like it's the new age of content creators, where we're taking ownership of our stories.
And our narrative.
Because I think, like you're saying, those guys who are approving the scripts, like, I'm gonna say something very controversial. Like, sometimes I find it very weird for certain people who doesn't understand me as a black person to judge my work. I find it very difficult because then I'm like, you don't know my culture, you don't know.
Before you even judge my work.
Yeah, it's like you don't know anything, the symbolism of that, or who I'm speaking to. Yeah, I'm not even trying to speak to you, I'm trying to speak to this person.
Yeah, in fact, how we want to 100 episode ya lebollo.
Yeah.
For a while you may want to explain away the practice via advanced medical circumcision. But what is the symbolism ya lebollo?
And I think it's a problem that we face as a country in general, not just in filmmaking. Just in general, we very disillusioned and disconnected with each other. You know, we live side by side. We share the same spaces. We work together. You know, we neighbors. You know, but for a white person to really understand,
it's hard. That's why I was like those stories, because then I think the gatekeepers knew us at surface level, and you see it sometimes with the tone deafness of certain projects. Is because that person, like their idea of a black person is somebody like Mabone or Adulanko DK or Rosebank or if I had the privilege of going to a private school, that's an idea of what a black person is. Because even for myself as my own black person, we're so multi-layered. There's other stuff I'm always like, I wasn't ready for that, or I don't even understand that aspect of it. You know what I'm saying? And so for me, it makes it very difficult.
Like
when
Badim.
Cannibalism.
Oh, cannibalism.
Cannibalism. Like that type of.
Yeah, and that hasn't been explored.
And so for me, it's like I think those were the gatekeepers of storytelling were making those decisions where what's the safest thing to do? Oh, Thabo lives in Maboneng, then we're gonna shoot him this way. The only person we know is Nelson Mandela. Like we don't really know, you know, Robert Subukwe or you know
Krisani.
Or that's our only idea of
reference of a political hero.
There's so many others.
There's so many others, you know, and so I think because
even the story of Jacob.
The
story of Jacob Zuma would be
incredible,
epic.
Like a fully balanced one.
Objective one.
Not the one when he became a president.
No, Jacob from back then.
From leaving school, standard 2. What was the reason?
Yeah, because like. If you look in the US, like a lot of stories that we see in film are inspired by books or whatever. Like we have a lot of books that have told our. We have a lot of African writers who are telling
African flavor.
Who are telling amazing stories about African personalities. I don't know if you guys as directors, as script writers in SA, if le baladibuka, you know, and maybe see a book that's fucking interesting, you know, maybe.
But even further than that, I think another problem that we're facing is that we are not writing the books.
But funny enough, like I realized there was this bookshop called Bramfontein, it was called African Flavors. You know, so they only. I need to sneeze. So they only distributed and published African books. So by South Africa, I used to walk in that shop. Most of the books, I'd never seen them. And some of them were like 2 years old, 3 years old. But when you go to exclusive, they're not there. CNA, they were not there. But there were so many. There were like so many books that were there, and you realize you're like, like you're saying, the beauty of technology now is that we can communicate better. You know, and say, my short film is out, my book is out, I want to check it out, because we've never really had those resources. And I think technology is evening out the playing field.
The divide.
The gatekeeper mentalities. And you can see the gatekeepers are fighting hard. You know, like, because you're like, that's why you hear all these things, Bo Martin Scorsese or some of those directors saying, because they didn't play at the cinema, doesn't qualify for the Oscars.
Fighting with Netflix and whatnot.
And you're like, no, but these platforms,
that's film.
because it was always been these places have always been exclusive to a few. Like where I always say this. One of my favorite filmmakers, Hail Cherimo, like he's a genius, and he put it so correctly. He was like, what happened like in the past is that there were these exclusive clubs, right? And so there's one seat at the table for a black person. A black person or somebody of not their race. So you pick that person, you put them on the table. they sit at the table with you guys. And so what it means for a kid who's watching, he's a definition of success. So he's going to be a template for any form of storytelling, any form of, his style worked because he's our hero, you know. And so even every filmmaker, they start changing their visual language because then that's what success looks like. Then you forget to be yourself because then, and embracing yourself and experimenting and doing different things. Then once that person is there at the table, now they also, like obviously, then they also start feeling you are better than the other guys at the other table. So then you also start thinking, your talent is so special, that's why you're sitting there. And sometimes you're sitting there because you're at the right place at the right time. Then the problem starts then. When you're there, then you realize that there's certain things that will bother you at the table. After a while, after you've made your money, now you're happy. What you do, you start acting up. What happens is that they chuck you out the table, go back to that other table. Find another one.
You're replaceable.
Yeah, replaceable. But that table only has one
space.
One
you
space.
Never take two.
Not two, not three, not four. Only. But then that whoever sits at that table obviously becomes the poster child.
And assimilates.
And also the poster child for change, for transformation, for they, you know.
Yeah. And any last words, man? Because I'm thinking, you know,
the segment.
Yeah, we wanna get in more people, different views. You know, let's wrap it up. Like, any last words with regards to the Cherry Fest and maybe your hopes and aspirations about the film industry in general, audience-wise, creator-wise?
Yeah, I think my last parting words, I think let's just go and tell our stories and embrace imperfections. Because we worry about perfection, and perfection only comes when you have a lot of resources. But sometimes that perfection doesn't have soul, and which you can't buy, you know. And so I think let's go and create, and create. We'll get it right. But the more you're creating and moving, the better we're gonna get.
Dope, man. Nah, it was nice to meet you, dog.
Yeah, nice to meet you. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
And from Matatiele, we go to the hood. Have you want to guess coming?
We have one.
Yeah, we have.
Yeah, so straight from Matatiele, we out here.
Going to the hood.
Yeah, Galokshi.
We represented for now.
Yeah, Galokshi, you know.
Yeah, Galokshi. I like how you put it.
Yeah, Galokshi.
The Dojo.
Safi. Ha. Kere motandre khuta, gore tswang ha ona ntsheta re thiba. Kere le bare solisa.
Yeah, this is what it feels like for talent when you're all fixing camera.